The Pittsburgh Pirates, they'll be back today for an early one at 110, same or against Baltimore. And the Padres are currently minus 185 on the money line. Nestor Cortez going for the Padres, while Cade Povich is going for the Orioles. In the U.S. Open, the semifinal is set between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. They are currently 5-2 against each other in their 7 times meeting. Need better sleep? Upgrade to a premium bed at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect mattress and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy.
And let's get it going on a Wednesday, aka Football Eve, as the NFL gets going tomorrow night. A game you will hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. This is the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. We are looking for you today to answer some questions because Sammy and I, quite frankly, we got no answers for this Padres team. So please do let us know on the text line right now. Very specific questions. 70470. Start your message with team. If you have a situation like the Padres had yesterday, bottom of the 7th inning, bases loaded, 1 out with an opportunity to fight back in a game, which Padres do you want to come to the plate?
Not Manny Machado
or Luis Arraez, apparently, because that was the two who came to the plate last night. Luis Arraez strikes out. Manny Machado grounds into an inning-ending, I guess, fielder's choice to second base. Look, the Padres, they're in a rough way right now. They're trending in the absolute wrong direction in a time that they need to be trending in a positive direction, in a time where opponents around them in the National League Wild Card and in the National League West are not playing great baseball. And the Padres are playing some of the worst baseball we've seen this year, making weird, fundamental mistakes that we haven't seen from this team, not pushing like they had earlier in the season. I'm not really sure what to do with this Padres team right now, but I do know that I agree with you, Sammy. You don't want Manny Machado up in that situation with another non-competitive at-bat in a huge moment for the Padres. So seriously, 70470, start your message with team. Which Padres player do you want at bat with everything on the line as we enter into what we expect to be another Padres postseason run, but there's still time for that to fall apart as well. Very busy show today. Like we said, Padres trending in the wrong direction. We will get to that all day. Football tomorrow is a breath of fresh air, man. Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles opening up the football season. That is a game you will hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 tomorrow night. And this Kawhi Leonard story is insane. I'm sure we'll get to it in the big three, but if you haven't seen anything, Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers are heading for some serious trouble, I think. This is a big deal.
Yeah, Kawhi.
Is it Kawhi's fault?
It's Kawhi's fault.
I mean, he just
Ballmer's
said yes. Fault. I think this is Ballmer's fault more than it's Kawhi's fault.
Well, it's both of their faults. Okay? What did Michael Scott say? When in The Office, you wouldn't arrest a guy for just delivering drugs from one guy to another. Okay, just because you said yes, that you are implicated in this scenario. Okay?
I will tell you what that story is in just a little bit, but let's get to this Padres game from last night. Man, Yu Darvish wasn't necessarily good, but at least you get some distance out of him. I think that was his season high in pitches so far. He did get to 6 strikeouts, so he helped out long shots. We'll see what happens with long shots as the day progresses, with some tennis still to be played here. But Yu Darvish wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination. Still gave up a lot of runs. The starting pitching is still a big problem for this Padres team. And the anemic offense is just awful right now. It's hard to watch. Even when runners are getting into scoring position, no one's there to back them up. No one's there to get that clutch hit that we're all waiting for, which is why the question seriously is, who do you want up in those situations? Because you would think this offseason going into it, you would say Manny Machado, even though he doesn't have the best track record in those situations. But so far this year, it feels like there's been a lot of games decided by the fact that Manny Machado could not come through with the clutch hit, and he didn't do it once again last night. I don't know. Hell, maybe the answer is Iglesias. He's been pretty good in clutch situations.
Laureano. I mean, so I put a poll up on San Diego Sports 760, the X account, if you can go check it out. What's the biggest concern with the Padres right now? Star slumping, starting pitching, and injuries. Starting pitching is currently in the lead at 48%. Star slumping is 43%, and injuries are 9%. I think this is fair. I mean, the starting pitching staff has been dreadful. This whole, I don't know when it became okay to go 3 innings, 4 innings. A Padres pitcher making it 5 innings is like a win. Like that's like a big deal the last 3 weeks to a month when a Padres pitcher goes to the fifth inning, and that should not be the case. That should be a guarantee every night, and then you're able to rely on the bullpen after. The stars have been, I mean, we keep talking about it. Fernando has been absentee. Manny Machado, there's an APB out on him. How do you have bases loaded against a Baltimore Oriole team that has a record of 62-76, who has completely failed to meet expectations this year, with 1 out bases loaded and Luis Arraez and Manny Machado come up and you don't get 1 run? And I know everyone wants to bag on Arraez today, and I get it. He didn't come through in the situation, but he at least had the home run last night. So it's hard for me to completely shred Luis Arraez, because the only reason the Padres scored yesterday was because of him, even though he didn't show up in that situation. I mean, think about where we were. What was it? 2 weeks ago? Week and a half ago?
Tied for the division lead.
Everyone's throwing a party. And it's not like the Dodgers are playing good baseball.
No, they lost again yesterday, didn't they?
They gave up 9 runs to the Pirates. 9 runs to the Pirates.
I mean, the good news is the Reds lost also. They're the team chasing you from behind, who you have a 3-game series with next week.
I mean, if you had said going into the weekend, hey, the Dodgers are going to lose Friday, Saturday, the Diamondbacks, win on a walk-off on Sunday, and then lose again on Tuesday, you'd be like, oh, wow, the Padres have a real opportunity. The Padres matched that with losing 2 or 3 over the weekend and then already losing the series to Baltimore, and we're going to see what happens today. I mean, it's just this team has no killer instinct. They do not have a closing mentality. What do we look for in the NBA? Who are the best NBA players and quarterbacks in the NFL?
People who can play in the fourth.
Who can play in the fourth when it's pressure time. And it feels like when the Padres are the lovable underdog, they play well. When they play with pressure and there's expectations that come along with them, and all the ESPN pundits, or it's not just San Diego, saying you got to watch out for this team, there's an absolute nosedive, and it's pretty frustrating to watch.
Oh, it's wildly frustrating. Texts are already piling in. 619, I want Razor Ramon, and it isn't close. That's from our buddy Quacked. Thanks for being here. 619, different number, says I want Razor Ramon, Laureano, or Holy Sheets right now. Not Manny, not Tatis. 858, at this point, I think the Padres would be better off going to LA than Chicago for the wild card. Dodgers are playing bad. They're in a bad spot as well. So we'll see. 858. Last night was on Tatis. At least the Manny jersey giveaway was sick.
At least everyone has that. The Manny Machado jersey giveaway.
So, yeah, we didn't know Tatis's status going into that game. We had Kevin Acey on. He said he wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe an IL stint for Tatis, who doesn't look right, by the way.
No.
Last night, he does not look right. He hit another ball to the warning track. That's not Tatis.
Well, and we also, Jackson Merrill just came back. Jim Russell pointed this out in the wrap-up show. A rare good point from our very good friend Jim Russell.
Come on, Jim does a good job.
No, we love Jim Russell. We love Jim Russell. No, I'm giving him
just
props.
Not
here.
in press conferences.
Just not in press conferences. He had said the perfect opportunity the other night was before you started Jackson Merrill yesterday was to get him an at bat. Oh, when it came up, Mike Schill elects to pinch run him instead of pinch hit him.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yesterday, 0-4. Again, it's his first game back, but I mean, let's not act like Jackson Merrill had been playing good baseball through the majority of this season. After that hot start before he got hurt, I mean, he's really been a problem for this team. So all the stars are not producing. All the guys making big money are not producing, and it's a massive problem.
All right, we got a lot to get to today. Jonas Knox is going to be joining the show coming up at 12:30 on our little NFL Eve preview show. We got Eagles Cowboys tomorrow night. You're going to hear that game right here on 760. Right now, it's time for the Big Three. Sammy, smash that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
If you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do it. On X, at Fletch and Sammy. Find us there. Give us a follow. We'll follow you back right away. And then on YouTube, at San Diego Sports 760. It's fun when the YouTube chat gets going a little bit. So start your own conversations on there, and we'll weigh in as we see fit. Jonas Knox coming up at 12:30. Sammy, where we start with the Big Three.
Okay, so San Diego zone Kawhi Leonard. If you guys haven't seen this story, this is one of the weirdest stories I've seen in recent memory. So to get this all, make sure I got it right. Report: Clippers skirted NBA salary cap with Kawhi Leonard's salary payments. So essentially what is being accused of Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard is they circumvented the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job. It was basically they're alleging that Ballmer started a company called Aspiration, which Ballmer partially funded with a $50 million investment through his personal LLC. It was a tree-growing company. Yes, a tree-growing company that apparently he didn't have to do anything. And he got $28 million for. This is a serious accusation because the NBA, just like the NFL, has a salary cap. And they're basically saying that Steve Ballmer skirted it and was able to pay him more money to go to the Clippers. Reaction to this story.
Oh, this is huge. First and foremost, it's not like it's a couple $100,000. This is $28 million we're talking about. And it's $28 million essentially of additional salary because it's going from owner to player. That's the gist of the matter. And it was through a company that Steve Ballmer had set up. By the way, the company is now bankrupt. So you look at what all this is, and it does feel like if it boils down to what I think it is, allegedly, Steve Ballmer is just paying around the salary cap to Kawhi Leonard, adding $28 million to his salary. Now, that's a big deal, first and foremost. Secondly, Colin Cowherd pointed this out. Even if Kawhi did show up and do the endorsements, still illegal. It's still not okay for Steve Ballmer to go around everything and then pay him on the side for something else. Now, if it was a company that Steve Ballmer was not attached to at all that had Kawhi do an endorsement pitch for him, doesn't matter how much Kawhi ends up doing for that company, but the terms get agreed on separately. We see this with guys like Shohei Ohtani all the time. He's making way more revenue in endorsements than he is in salary. Kawhi Leonard could easily have that as well, and I'm sure he does with New Balance, with the different companies he endorses. This is kind of gross, and I have a feeling the punishment from Adam Silver in the NBA is going to be heavy. Like multiple first-round draft picks could be leaving the Clippers because of $28 million added on extra juice to Kawhi's salary.
From John Gambadoro, who's out in Arizona Sports, he actually reported Kawhi Leonard reportedly asked Toronto's owner Larry Tannenbaum, when he used to play for the Raptors, to line up an extra $15 million in endorsements when deciding in his free agency. Tannenbaum basically didn't get it, said no. I mean, I think what we all understand is that the Clippers are so dead in Los Angeles that to get a player to come play for them, they have to add another $28 million and scheme it around. I mean, this is ridiculous. I love what Stephen A said this morning, talking about Kawhi Leonard does no press. I mean, this is the perfect. Kawhi Leonard will do anything to not play. I have never seen what he said, a superstar who is, when he's on the floor, one of the best players in the NBA, but get paid more for doing less work. I mean, if this seriously happens, you're going to see a massive punishment for the Clippers. This is basically what used to happen in college football. I mean, it was boosters would randomly give them a Ford deal or something like that. I don't know, whatever it was.
Or the duffel bag in a hotel room full of cash.
I mean, this is completely illegal. The thing that the NBA has taken a serious step in trying to maintain that teams like Oklahoma City can actually be good, because if there was no salary cap, it'd be like the MLB. The Lakers, the Knicks, Boston, and Chicago would be in the top four every year because they would just outspend everyone. The whole point of the salary cap is you're paying your own guys. You can't get over it. So it kind of allows teams like Oklahoma City to be better. This is a massive, massive accusation. If it's real, they're going to see a lot of punishment from them.
And I wonder if this is the tip of the iceberg. If, LeBron, Luka, Giannis, Anthony Edwards, if the other superstars around the NBA have similar deals lined up, maybe this is just the beginning and we find out a lot more.
We'll see. So they're projecting tomorrow night, the NFL, start of the NFL. I mean, it is the best time of year. Apparently, the sports books are saying it's going to be one of the most bet games of the season in recent history. Where are you leaning? The spread after the Micah Parsons trade has moved from 6.5 Philadelphia favorites to 8.5. Are there any plays you like for this game? Are you leaning a certain way?
I really don't mind the Cowboys at plus 8.5. I really don't. I think the Cowboys offense is mostly untouched by any of the drama of the Micah Parsons deal. And look, Philly's going to be able to score, but Dallas is going to be able to score too. I actually have this kind of being a shootout. Like, Dak Prescott is a talented dude. Now he's going to be rusty coming off that injury. CeeDee Lamb, ridiculously talented. You add George Pickens, curious to see how he looks in this. But the Cowboys should be able to score this year. That's not going to be the problem. Defensively, I don't know what they got. And in terms of time of possession, Eagles should dominate the game tomorrow because the Cowboys defensive line, as Jerry said, can't stop the run, and Philadelphia has one of the best run games in all of football. So I don't mind the Cowboys plus 8.5. I wouldn't say I'd be putting my money on that, but that would be my lean.
I do like the 8.5. I think we are forgetting a little bit about this Cowboys team. Take Micah Parsons aside, everything you just laid out. This offense 2 years ago was one of the best in the NFL. I mean, Dak Prescott was in the MVP conversation. CeeDee Lamb is there. You got George Pickens, who you just acquired. Jaden Blue is a really exciting young rookie who probably won't make a big impact tomorrow, but down the road. And then on defense, you do get Trayvon Diggs back. Obviously, the massive loss of Micah Parsons is going to be felt. I really like the over here at 47.5. I know usually when Philly games, you want to go under because they run the ball. They drain a lot of clock, but I think this is going to be a shootout. 8.5 is too big of a number for me to lay with Philadelphia simply because of the NFC East. And Ben, real quick, I know we're going to break here, but we have a third story. And this one hits home. This one I think affects all of us. And it was kind of hard for me to get into this morning, but I don't know if you guys heard, the FBI
Oh, I do know this.
shut down a national treasure in Stream East. Our text line is saying rest
Sorry,
in
I don't even know what that is.
858, shout out to you, saying rest in peace to Stream East. For those of you maybe under the age of 35, you probably know what Stream East is. If it wasn't, it was a site where maybe you didn't have the money to pay for a certain fight, a certain $80 to the UFC. You could possibly watch a game on there for free. And the FBI got their little noses in it and shut it down. I'm just saying it's a sad day. And if you want to hit the text line 70470, start your message with team with eulogies all day, feel free.
Look, we love the FBI. We really do here on San Diego Sports 760. Love the FBI. This is a sad day. Look, Stream East, I'll just be honest, has been a part of my life since early college years.
Of course it has.
This sucks.
It's a massive disappointment.
I have not used it as much recently. I have been fortunate in my life to be able to afford some of the streaming services now that I used to skirt with Stream East, but this is a sad day. Sports fans everywhere.
If you know what Stream East is, you're feeling it like us.
Pour one out for the homies.
Pour one out for Stream East tonight.
All right, we got plenty of texts coming in here, including some long shots recommendations that we'll get to. Let's get into this game tomorrow night. We got football to talk about. Jonas Knox coming up at 12:30. He'll be talking football too. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Just go ahead and add us to your presets when you're over there. Hit that little plus icon when you're listening to San Diego Sports 760. That helps us out, helps you out, makes it easier to find us. Win-win for everybody. That's what I like to say. Text line has exploded early in the show today. By the way, this is the Fletch Zone. My name's Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. Thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. Let's see. 760. Use Fletch's code on Prize Picks and take Saquon over or more than 19.5 longest rush. Favorite bet for tomorrow night's game.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in hour number 2, we do our favorite bets.
I like that. We're also weekend. Today. Are we doing our tomorrow? Are we doing our season-long NFL?
Tomorrow's
bets?
The day.
Tomorrow's
12:45. If there was I think that's going to be the biggest moment in our show's history.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting. We have some listener picks that are coming in. You got to tune in tomorrow at 12:45.
760. This is how I find out Stream East has been taken out. Damn shame.
I know it's a real sad day for all of us.
Dude, the details on this are actually kind of insane. It was a full-on like Jack Bauer sting operation out in Egypt to get Stream East shut down. Which, if you don't know what that is,
why doesn't the FBI work on things that are actually issues?
Well, Sammy, this was quite literally piracy. This was stealing. It was illegal. We all knew we were doing it.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Look at what the UFC and boxing is doing. Now they're making fights affordable, moving to Paramount Plus, Turkey Al Sheikh, making fights free.
Well, I do think Dana White was a big part of the FBI sting operation in the first place.
Yes.
And this is kind of, there's still other sites out there. It's not like Stream East was the only one.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to, I mean, not to get a whole discussion about this, but it's hard to grow a sport like fighters, like boxing and the UFC, when you're asking people to pay $80. That just kills a lot of the population. It's like, I don't have the money. I would love to watch the fight. I don't have the money to spend that. So it's cool that they're making it more affordable, but it is a sad day that Stream East is no longer around.
Couple Padres text 619. Remember when we had the 5-finger death punch bullpen? Now with Adams done for the year, Wandy, Morgan, and Suarez up and down, this bullpen looks more like. Can't read that last part, but it has to do with fingers and 2 and 3. And
that's pretty good.
It's a great text.
I wish we could read
it. Really
that.
Is. I actually have a golf glove that represents exactly what that text is talking about.
Is there, in a weird way, like it's almost like we were talking about this yesterday, Fletch, when they got Mason Miller at the deadline and they're talking about Kevin Acee said on our show, other people when they would go on the road be like, I mean, this Padres bullpen is something we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, this is like an elite bullpen.
It was Yonder Alonso who said on TV that night, he was like, get to the third inning and the Padres win the game.
Exactly. It's almost like the Padres took that and Mike Schilt as like, literally, let's just pull our starters in the third and fourth inning.
This is what would happen if Sammy or I won the Powerball tomorrow or tonight. It's like, oh, well, all right. I don't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Get my feet up.
And it's like it's unreasonable to expect that even though the bullpen, despite not having Jason Adams, is still a very talented bullpen, it's unreasonable to expect these guys to be perfect. When we've come on the show, Jeremiah Estrada has been excellent against everyone. He's been terrible against the Dodgers. And you would think if you turn on, anything in this town and be like Jeremiah Estrada's pariah number one. It's like, or is it the fact that starting pitchers take no load off their shoulders and they're being relied on every night? I think it's a massive issue.
Yeah, the more I think about that poll you have up on at SD Sports 760 on X, the more I think starting pitching is the right answer. Like it's cheap to blame injuries. Everyone deals with injuries. Injuries happen in sports. We're going to see some tomorrow night, unfortunately, in the opening game of the NFL season. You're going to see something. It's about how you bounce back from injuries. It's the next man up mentality. It's why general managers get paid so much money, is to build depth on rosters. And sure, the Padres on paper look like they could be a World Series team this year. Are you watching what I'm watching? Don't look like it to me. I don't even know if they look like a playoff team right now. We got Jonas Knox coming up in 5 minutes, so I want to rip through this last text. 858 about Kawhi Leonard. Of course that business went under. Unless it's a weed tree, no tree growing business has an extra $28 million laying around.
Yes.
In straight cash, homie. That's what the weed tree businesses have.
Yes, sir. Kawhi Leonard, man.
This is a crazy story.
Fletch and I were talking about this during the break, and feel free to chime in 70470, start your message with team. And I don't make it some flack for this because Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time NBA champion and 2-time finals MVP, and he is an excellent player. But is Kawhi Leonard not one of the most underachieving NBA players of all time of what he could have been?
You're talking about someone who could have been the greatest defensive player maybe in NBA history?
I mean, he could have been. I never thought he was obviously a Michael, LeBron, Kobe, and like that. But he could have
ripped off 3 more championships. He could have been.
He could have been in a top 10 discussion. And it really is a shame that this guy can't stay on the court, and then you're dealing with stuff like this.
Let's ask the Superman of Fox Sports Radio, why don't we? Jonas Knox coming up next. You hear him every morning right here on San Diego Sports 760. the Knox Man, coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. Padres, after losing the first two games, the Baltimore Orioles are back here in about 40 minutes, taking them on for Game 3. Padres are minus 185 on the money line. Kate Povich is going for the Orioles, while Nestor Cortez will be going for the Padres. And the NFL opener is tomorrow. Cowboys, Eagles in Philly. The line has moved from 6.5 to 8.5 following in favor of Philly following the Micah Parsons deal. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it with eBay. You find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. The O-Siders leaving a very nice comment on YouTube. Thank you for that, man. We appreciate you being here. We'll keep doing it as long as you keep listening. Trey says, Sammy, I hope you're feeling better today, brother. You do sound better. You look better. Your hair has volume back. That's good.
I appreciate that, Trey. The O-Siders, thank you very much. Yeah, we're feeling a little bit better today. Been fighting it still, but on the mend.
Always one of my favorite guests. Anytime we get the chance to talk to him, I love it. You hear him every single morning on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe right here on San Diego Sports 760. Look who it is. It's Jonas Knox of Fox Sports Radio. Jonas, man, it's good to have you here on the day before the greatest sport takes back over.
Well, it's good to be on with you guys as always. I appreciate you having me, and let's do this. We got a lot to discuss.
All right. Well, we're actually going to start with a non-NFL topic because this Kawhi Leonard thing is insane, man. $28 million apparently skirting the salary cap from Steve Ballmer into Kawhi Leonard's pocket for a quote-unquote no-show endorsement thing. What do you have any reaction to this? What are the Clippers going to get punished?
I mean, I just wonder what this opens up as far as Pandora's box, because I can't imagine this is the first time this has been done. I can't imagine that this is the only time there's been, somebody who's tried to circumvent either a salary cap or a deal or whatnot to sort of get a deal done. And I just wonder, why now? Why did this one get out? Why did Pablo Torre get a hold of it? And who was really behind the story getting out to the public? And yeah, the NBA is going to have to do something. What this means for the Clippers, I mean, it's the Clippers. I can remember when Kawhi Leonard signed with the Clippers, I can remember it happened like 15 minutes before I was doing overnights. And, I had like an entire show written and all this, and everything was sort of figured out. And then all of a sudden this bombshell comes out that Kawhi Leonard said F you to the Lakers and went and signed with the Clippers. And it was amazing to see Lakers fans go into a panic thinking about, wait a second, so somebody actually chose them over us. And it was Kawhi, it was Paul George. And then, of course, COVID happened, everything fell apart. But my big reaction on this story is, why now? And what other stuff would come of this if the Clippers decided to be like, you know what, let us blow the whistle, our turn. We know some things about other organizations in the NBA.
Switching over to the NFL real quick. What's your favorite game or game you're most excited for this weekend?
Every single one of them, but the one that I'm fascinated by is the Jets and the Steelers, because the Jets, all of a sudden, for a team who had so much to say, and for a team that knew that they needed to make a move at quarterback because it just wasn't working with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Glenn was going to come in there, and Darren Moogie, and all these guys were going to come in there and change the culture in New York. They were going to change things with the Jets. For all that conversation that they were having during the offseason, now we're a couple of days away from the game, and nobody wants to say anything. Justin Fields said, hey, listen, we're all about ball. You've got Aaron Glenn saying, no, like, I don't want to address any of that stuff. I'm not worried about that stuff from the past. And the problem is the Jets chose not to want to be with Aaron Rodgers anymore in a quarterback franchise relationship, whatever, and their reasons may have been just, but they basically told the guy, we're not interested. And so the team he signed with is the team they're playing to start the year. And the team they went with at quarterback used to be on that team. So it's almost like the Jets had a ton to say. I don't think they really had any thought that Aaron Rodgers could develop into anything, or that he was going to get a real shot anywhere else. And not only did he get a real shot, he got a real shot with the team they opened up the year with. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be full of pea and vinegar. I think he's going to come in there and want to light him up and maybe make a statement. The Jets may not like that, but I think Rodgers is out for revenge.
Jonas Knox, 2 pros and a cup of Joe. You hear it every morning here on San Diego Sports 760. You're also going to hear a football game tomorrow night on San Diego Sports 760. That would be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Jonas, this game tomorrow night, it's interesting. Opened up at 6.5. I feel like I felt comfortable taking the Eagles at 6.5. Now that it's at 8.5, all of a sudden, I kind of like the Cowboys in this one, at least to cover the spread. Like the offense is still working. I know Micah Parsons has gone from the defense, but don't you think 8.5 is a pretty nice number for the Cowboys?
Yeah, especially if it jumped up that much. And I do wonder, because we've seen this before, where teams that are celebrating a title, whether it's in the NFL or the NBA, when they open up and it's banner night to open up the next year, maybe they struggle a little bit. Maybe they're not, they things don't look as polished as they did. Because imagine you're celebrating last year. You're celebrating being a world champion. There's a lot of guys who are experiencing that for the first and only time of their lives. And then all of a sudden, the game kicks off and you've got an actual game that counts for something, and it's right then and there. And so I do wonder, looking at that number, if that 2-point swing was enough to drive people in the direction of the Dallas Cowboys. I just think following the Micah Parsons trade, I still think there's going to be a majority of people that are probably going to want to bet Philly, because they just cannot believe that Dallas actually did that. And they look at Dallas and say, wait a second, if they're such a clown show that they're going to trade away their best player for 2 first-round picks that are going to be late first-round picks and an interior defensive lineman because they were so worried about stopping the run, if that's the direction the organization is heading in, I can't put my money on the Dallas Cowboys. But either way, it's actual football, it's real football, and it all takes place a little over 24 hours from now.
Speaking of that Micah Parsons deal, a lot of people see the Packers as the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC. Do you, or do you think there's another team?
I think I would have said, I think the Packers are going to win that division. I think they're going to win the NFC North. I did like Green Bay going into the season. I like him even more now. Micah Parsons' back issue is a little interesting to watch, just because anytime you're talking about a back and getting epidurals before games, that's something to worry about. The other team that I was high on, and it's, kind of ironic that we're talking about a back issue, is the Rams. I was high on the Rams going into the season because quietly, they've done a really good job. For Les Snead in that organization that was all about quote-unquote FM picks back in the day, they've done a really good job in the draft and really good job building up that defense, building up that with young players, especially on defense. And I would have taken the Rams, but this Matthew Stafford back issue just feels like something they're going to have to deal with the entire year. And if I knew Stafford was healthy, I would roll with the Rams because I think they've got a little bit easier of a path to get there. I can't trust the back issue, so I'm with you. I think Green Bay is the biggest threat to Philly.
Yeah, Stafford never really looked healthy last year, and he kind of pulled it together for that postseason game. But throughout the entire season, he was a very average quarterback. And then, I don't know, I'm with you, Jonas. The Rams make me a little nervous.
And by the way, when did the back issue start? When did he suffer the back injury? And nobody wants to give an answer to that. And I think it's interesting. And people will be like, well, who cares when it started? It's what he's got. Well, no, it's important because I can't imagine they would have given him the deal they gave him if they knew that this back was going to be an issue the entire year, which tells me something happened after he signed the contract. Something was going on. And the contract dealings were odd to begin with. Like, he hadn't officially signed the deal, and then he did. And I'm just wondering, because there was speculation. Look, Clayton Kershaw, which I know, listen, everybody in this town listening, I got you. I understand, there's people, it's the Dodgers-Padres rivalry. But one of the things about Clayton Kershaw was he suffered a back issue, and they said it was from a long flight that he was on when he went to Australia. And ever since then, he had back issues. And I'm just wondering if something happened to Matthew Stafford while they were going to training camp in Maui, because he took part in training camp. And so whether it was something that happened there or there was a similar situation to Kershaw where on the flight back he felt some tightness and they had to go in there and take another look at it, I just want to know when it happened, because to me that changes the outlook of their season depending on his health.
And they could say all they want how good Matthew Stafford looks and how ready he is for practice, but we won't know until week 1, which fortunately for us is this weekend. Jonas, real quick before we get you out of here, Sammy and I win it big this NFL season. We went out to Las Vegas. We entered into Circa Survivor, which if you're not familiar with it, it's $1,000 entry, and you pick one team every week. Can't pick the same team twice. We are in flux about who our week 1 choice is. Who is your favorite money line week 1 pick? And we may or may not listen to you.
Oh God. Well, okay. Let me tell you who you're torn on. Like, what are the games that you look at and go, all right, I need to.
I'd say the one that we've been most consistent on is Cardinals over Saints.
Is there any way you can? Is there any way you can invest a little bit and just pick against the Saints every week? Like, is that possible? Because they're going to be awful.
You could, unless it's a division twice.
Money line pick. I would almost. Boy, that's tough, man.
I know a lot of people picking Denver in week 1. A lot of people picking Washington in week 1. We don't really feel comfortable about either of those, even though they're the 2 biggest favorites on the money line. I like our Cardinals pick. I really do. But the Saints have a history of week 1 being pretty good.
Yeah. And oh, my goodness.
You're a lot of help, Jonas.
Well, no, I'm trying because I'm looking at the Panthers and the Jaguars, and I'm thinking, how many times are you going to take Carolina or Jacksonville this year unless they're playing each other? You know what I mean? And so I wonder if Jacksonville at home, new offense, new look against Carolina, who's still got a lot to prove. They're a small favorite, but if you can knock a Jacksonville pick out of the way early and it's against a team that's probably not going to be very good near the bottom of the league, maybe Jacksonville over Carolina. But if that doesn't hit, I don't want anybody breaking my balls about it, okay? This is week 1. It's a crapshoot in week 1. That's the problem with these picks.
Yeah, like 90% of people last year got knocked out week 1 because of the Bengals or something.
Yeah, apparently the most picks are on Denver to beat Tennessee.
So we're all rooting for Tennessee here. Huge Titans fans.
Okay, there you go. Cam Ward's the man. There you go. So Rookie of the Year season starts now. I got you. I'm in.
Jonas, we won't hold the Jags pick against you. I do like that. Quickly switching to college football. Who did you blame more for Saturday's performance? Did you think it was really on Arch Manning, or do you think Sark's play calling really played into that?
I don't know if it was necessarily on Arch Manning. He didn't play well. I think a lot of the credit needs to go to Matt Patricia and the defense, because I don't know how many people realize that Matt Patricia was the DC there at Ohio State now. And I think he did a really, really good job game planning against a guy who only had 2 career starts. And look, Brady Quinn was talking about it yesterday on the show on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. And he said, look, I went through, and that probably is going to be the most difficult defense that he will see all year. In what Matt Patricia threw at him, the different looks, a lot of stuff he probably was not ready for at the time. Maybe it'll make him a better player in the long run, but I actually think a lot of credit needs to go to Matt Patricia and the defense for Ohio State.
And Sark did seem like he wasn't willing to even throw down the field because Ohio State's secondary is so good. Jonas, you're the best. Listen to Jonas Knox every morning here on San Diego Sports 760. You are my drive into work, pal, and I appreciate the hell out of that. You have a great day, Jonas.
Thanks, guys. You're the best. I appreciate you for having me as always.
Yeah, man. Jonas Knox, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. Firing up my morning every single morning. They can do the same thing for you. We're going to take a quick break here. Long shots on the other side. We got one in play, one coming up for you. Stay tuned at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Football is here tomorrow night. First game of the season. You don't want to miss a moment this season with Prize Picks. The best place to get real action here in California. I already got lineups going for tomorrow night. We're going to give you a lineup in about 5 minutes. That can be your first $5 entry to get that $50 in bonuses. Prize Picks makes it fun, quick, and easy to play daily fantasy sports. I can build my lineup in under a minute while I'm settling in on the couch, getting ready for kickoff, having my nachos beside me. Prize Picks is the best spot to get sports action here in California, and withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Venmo, MasterCard, Apple Pay, and more. Join the millions of people who are already playing Prize Picks. Take part in the billions of dollars that have already been awarded in winnings, and use promo code Fletch when you sign up. Get that $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Do what the text line said. We actually got a recommendation earlier today from the 760. Use code Fletch on Prize Picks. Take Saquon more than 19.5 for longest rush. My favorite entry for tomorrow. Listen to the 760. Sounds like a smart person. And download Prize Picks. Use promo code Fletch, because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Oh, we are so close to having this be the coolest segment we've ever done. Tomorrow, 12:45. You don't want to miss it. We're clearing the decks. We're getting to this segment on time for like the first time in this show's history.
Yeah, we never hit this segment on time.
Never once.
But we bump it for a legend like Jonas Knox.
Of course. But tomorrow, 12:45, be here. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully we are all making some money together. By the way, it was good to talk to Jonas Knox. I really like that guy.
Yeah, he's super talented.
One of my personal radio heroes, man. That dude has done everything at Fox Sports Radio, overnights, weekends. Dude just is a workhorse. And then he got this show with Brady and LeVar, and it's really taken off. Happy for them. It's a great show. You should listen to it on your drive to work. I do every single morning, and they're funny, man.
Yeah, they're a great crew. He was great filling in for Colin on Monday.
Oh yeah,
Jonas Knox is 1-on-1, man.
Jonas is a cool guy. We'll continue to have him on throughout the NFL season. All right, Sammy, we still got one in play. You want to update everybody on where last night's long shots is at?
So Yu Darvish, despite not really helping the Padres out, actually hit over on strikeouts for us. He got 6. What was that?
I love you.
Oh,
Why you?
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Novak Djokovic, Taylor Fritz. We needed one more game. So it wasn't a loss. I needed over 40 games. They got 40 games. Fritz had him. He came back in the fourth set. It looked like this was not going to hit because Novak was going to win in the third. Fritz goes on an absolute tear, kind of runs out of gas there at the end. You wonder what could have happened. He pushed it to a fifth set because Novak was starting to look tired. We'll never know for the local Rancho Santa Fe kid. But so that one basically is a like it didn't happen. We need Naomi Osaka against Muchova, less than 22 total games tonight. A Yannick Sinner against Lorenzo Musetti. This is a little bit of a risky one. More than 31.5 total games. I think Musetti gives Sinner a little bit more problems than people are giving him credit for.
US Bropen has actually been kind of sick, so hopefully it keeps working for us. Sammy, let's get to today's long shots. Smash it.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
All right, we use Prize Picks for long shots. You can as well. I was just telling you about Prize Picks, but use promo code Fletch when you sign up. That gets you a $50 bonus after your first $5 entry. And just scrolling through Prize Picks today, there is a ton of free-to-play football stat projection stuff going on. So I just went through them and entered all of them. I think I'm going to win $1 million, Sammy. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, the million from Prize Picks plus the 20 whatever million we're going to win from Circa.
I thought no, it was 15. Does he get up to 20? The pot?
It's up to 20. Do we even need to work here anymore? I don't know. We got all this money coming in.
We're gonna buy the whole station.
Plus Powerball coming tonight. I'm definitely gonna win that.
Oh, is it? What is up to a bill, right?
Over 1.2, which I think the cash value on that ends up being somewhere around.
If you don't come in tomorrow, we'll just all assume that you won it.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay. All right, so we'll see if Ben Fletcher appears.
Or I'll just land my new helicopter on top of the building, come grab you, and we're off to Cabo for a few days or something.
Cabo.
Where are we going with Prize Picks? Long shots.
We have a 3-legger right now. U.S. Open, getting to some of the finals, some of the semifinals. So there's less action going on there. We have a couple U.S. Open picks tonight. Now, I got 2 baseball picks and 1 tennis pick. Nestor, we're going to start with San Diego. Start with the Padres. Nestor Cortez, more than 5.5 pitches strikeouts. I promise this isn't like just trying to gas up the hometown team. I really do feel like Nestor Cortez is the key to this rotation. He has been the one guy at times, take that Giants game out, where he gave him 3 home runs in the first inning. He has been the guy at times that has had the ability to stable the rotation. Dylan Cease, it feels like a little bit of a lost cause, waiting on him to get it together. Yu Darvish has not looked the same since returning from injury. We're all still waiting on Michael King. Outside of Nick Pivetta, Nestor Cortez has to be the guy that steps up and becomes, I'm not saying he's going to be a great starter, a serviceable starter that can get you the bullpen and not go 3 innings. I do think because of the injury of Jason Adam this week, because of the fact that Yu Darvish got pulled early last night, Yu Darvish, more than 5.5 pitches strikeouts. I think this is simply based on opportunity. I think he's going to be left in the game for a while, even if he gets shelled early in this. More than 5.5 pitches strikeouts for the Padres, and that game gets going here in about 15 minutes. So make sure you grab that in. Now, let's stay in baseball. Colorado, San Francisco. Fletch, I don't know if you saw the fight last night.
Dude, Devers pimping that home run.
Freeland having problem. I mean, that was the massive brawl broke out last night.
It looked like it could have been so much better. They stopped it a little early, man. Punches were about to start flying.
Yeah, they was like, exactly. They didn't let them go. Like, this is why I love hockey. Hockey, they just let them work it out. Okay, it's the only sport that happens in.
If they wouldn't have held them back, Freeland and Devers were going to knock each other out.
Yeah,
it was going to be awesome.
Robbie Ray, more than 5.5 pitches strikeouts. Very talented pitcher. We all know him. We see him a lot down here in San Diego because playing for the Giants. San Francisco's the better team. I think that he puts on a show today. Both teams are going to be fired up. Both team seasons are absolutely winding down. They're trying to get to the finish line, but I do think there's a little bit something more on it tonight. The Giants, more than 5.5 pitches strikeouts for Robbie Ray. Now let's go to tennis. Jessica Pegula, Arnia Sabalenka, Fletcher's favorite. Pegula is playing against Sabalenka. Sabalenka advanced to the semifinals because of an injury to her last opponent. So she has not played in 4 days. Now, some people can look at that and go that she's very rested. She's very good. She's the number 1 women's tennis player in the world. I'm going to go more than 21.5 games. Jessica Pegula has been playing very good tennis at the whole tournament so far. They have played each other about 7-8 times, something like that. I think Sabalenka, some of the tennis pros were talking about, especially the time off doesn't always help you. It can be a little bit itchy. You're sitting in your hotel room for 3 to 4 days waiting to play. I think it's going to go more than 21.5 total games. Pegula, Sabalenka, 2 of the best on that side of the bracket left. Swiatek's on the other side. But I think Sabalenka gets it done, but I think it takes a little while. And especially on the women's side with them only playing 3 sets, you don't have to worry about conditioning as much because it's not like the men's who are playing 5 if they go late into the night.
You don't think our girl's going to pull an upset?
No, I think she can. That's why I'm going over 21 and a half games. But if you had a gun in my head, I'd say Sabalenka.
Yeah, but we love Pagula.
So let me recap. Nestor Cortez,
She already won the lottery.
more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. Robbie Ray for San Francisco, more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. And Arnia Sabalenka, more than 21.5 total games. And Jessica Pagula. Fletch's
I
favorite.
love it. It's entered already. Now, I would worry just a little bit
About Robbie Ray potentially getting ejected if he throws at someone early, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's a vet.
No one cares. It's happening in Colorado. No one's even watching the game.
Yeah, but he could still get ejected.
If that happens, we'll deal with that tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take a quick break here. Hour number 2 is coming up next. Padres will get going in hour number 2, so we'll keep you updated on what's going on there. But time to take a break. And like Tyler said, let's get some dollar signs. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Padres getting going here in about 10 minutes. Cade Povich will be on the mound for the Orioles, and Nestor Cortez will be on the mound for the Padres, trying to avoid the sweep from the hands of Baltimore. In big matchup on Sunday, Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers returning to play the Jets with Justin Fields. Both quarterbacks played for the previous team before. Justin Fields says they are focusing on themselves and not the Steelers storylines. Pittsburgh is currently favored by 3.5 in New York. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
And it's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. Let's spend a little more time on the Padres here before they get going. They are, 10, 15 minutes away from first pitch today. Nestor Cortez going to be on the mound for the Padres. Hopefully he can do something that no other starting pitcher seems capable for the San Diego Padres and just get into the 5th inning. Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be a breath of fresh air, wouldn't it? But the Padres last night, they lose to the Orioles for the second straight day. And last night felt a little more frustrating. I don't know if it's a tipping point or anything for Padres fans, but I could feel it throughout social media, throughout our show today. People are frustrated, rightfully so. This team is too good to be losing games like this to the Orioles, to the Mariners, and to the Twins. And the Padres are just finding new ways to do it every single time. Like, could you draw up a better scenario for the Padres than to have your guys, Luis Ariz and Manny Machado, come into the plate in the 7th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out? And to leave that with 0 runs scored feels inexcusable for those two guys who are making their money because of what they do at the plate. And for Manny Machado, it feels like it's happened a lot this season. We're not going to kill Ariz today because he hit the home run earlier in the game, but I'm going to kill him a little bit. How do you strike out in that situation for a guy who prides himself on not striking out? It was a rough night for the Padres, who didn't get starting pitching depth once again. Yu Darvish was not good, although he did get them 70-something pitches, which I guess kudos. But they didn't get the starting pitching depth once again. The offense is completely anemic, has been for a while here. And the fact that you get your superstars up in that situation with the bases loaded and you come away with it with a goose egg, it's inexcusable is what it is. And it's not going to get anything done in the postseason.
Completely. And these guys have to perform who are making all the money. I mean, all we've heard the last little bit is, the Padres schedule's easy. It's easy the rest of the way. Yeah, right. It's
You're making it look hard.
Right. They're not beating bad teams. And this is the reason people were excited about that was because for most of the season, the Padres struggles have come against upper tier competition, teams above 500, but they really have handled business against teams below 500. And that has not been the case recently. i.e. the Twin series, this Orioles series, which they already lost. We'll see if they can salvage a game here. And then you got Colorado, who on paper is horrible, but they did take 2 of 4 from the Dodgers. So we'll see. You can't take them lightly. It is an NL West opponent. We got a text earlier, 619. Manny may have has only one home run in his last 31 games, but the fans got a Machado jersey with their overpriced tickets to pay his ridiculous salary.
They wear cool jerseys.
619, you're not wrong. I mean, you're literally not wrong. Like, at some point, we can point. I think why people get frustrated with Manny Machado is because Manny Machado he's the guy that leads the forefront of we're not the little brother. We're not scared of the Dodgers. Remember that great quote for 2022? He's like, yeah, we're not scared of them. And they ended up beating them. And Manny Machado chirps a lot, which is why a lot of people in San Diego likes him. But at the same time, it's like when you come up and you're grounding into a double play, he's hit below 200 in the last 25 games. As this texter just pointed out, 1 home run in the last 31 games. What World Series winning team has had this little power go over the fence? The Padres don't hit balls out of the yard outside of Ariz last night. That has been a few and far between thing. And in the postseason, when you're facing really good pitching, it's hard to expect that you're going to be walking around the bases and getting blue hits and everything. It's just this team is not clicking right now, and they need to figure it out fast.
So, Sammy, you say the Padres don't have enough power. I agree wholeheartedly, but at least they don't have, a power hitter sitting on the bench most nights in Ryan O'Hearn. Like, it's not working. Change it. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Hopefully they do. We'll see what happens.
And like, play guys out of position. I know Mike Schilt, when he talks about, we pride ourselves on defense. Yeah, well, it's not working. So would you rather worry about a little less defense and playing O'Hearn and one of these guys out of position to get a little more pop in your lineup? I mean, right now, it's not working. in theory, yes, you want the best defense out there, but that's great when Fernando's hitting well and Arias hitting well, Machado and Merrill, and when literally not a single one of those guys you can point to is having success right now. Yes, you need more juice at the back end of your lineup, and it's they need to fix it.
And Tatis doesn't look right. Maybe he should have gone to the IL for a little bit. Maybe he does need a week or two off because he doesn't look right. He didn't look right last night. We'll see how he does today. All right, let's get to the big three of hour number 2, and then we got some juicy NFL stuff we're going to get into over the rest of the hour. But Sammy Long, if you would, smash that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Dude, on the Padres broadcast right now, the subheader, right? Literally the chyron on the screen was no sweep Nestor. Is that what the Padres have come down to?
I don't know if it's just me, but
Nestor Cortez.
Baseball wears me out with like, because it's such a stat-driven game.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. They're celebrating at the 1,000th hit Arise right now on the broadcast. Like, why? Frankly,
that was pretty cool.
No, it's cool, but I don't care. Like, you take like wins over actual just personal accolades. It's something about baseball that has driven me crazy for years. It feels like sometimes it's more about personal accolades than actually wins, probably because it's such a long season. But that's just something.
Well, and here, serious question, and I didn't bring this up to you, so I don't even think about it. Just answer. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Manny Machado. Who's the best player out of the three?
Bryce Harper, because he's played the best in the biggest game.
Who's the second best?
Mike Trout.
And so Manny would be number 3?
I would say that, yeah.
Manny's probably going to finish with better career numbers than Bryce Harper and just under Mike Trout.
I mean, you could put Manny above
but
Trout's,
numbers don't always tell the whole story, because I would agree with you wholeheartedly. It should go either. You can make an argument for Harper or Trout as the best player of this era.
I think Trout is the best player of those three, hands down. I don't think that's negotiable. But the fact that you have to knock Trout for the fact that he's barely played the playoffs, and he hasn't been good when he's played.
He hasn't won a single playoff game in his career.
So I guess you could argue Manny and Harper. It's hard. Baseball's a team game, but at the same time, Harper for years hadn't performed well in the playoffs and kind of took off the last couple of years. That's based on accolade. Best pure player is probably Mike Trout. But
yeah, the whole point was numbers don't always tell the whole story, because you could easily put Manny and Harper above Trout, but the fact that Trout is just so elite, so top notch in terms of WAR, in terms of all that, he gets the nod as the best player of this generation. All right, where are we going with the big three?
Okay, I mentioned this in my update. Jets, Steelers, big fun matchup on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers favored by 3.5 in New York. Justin Fields went to the presser today and said they're not worried about the Steelers storylines, the Aaron Rodgers returning home, Justin Fields playing his old team. What fan base would you rather be going forward, Pittsburgh or the Jets?
That is a great question, actually. Props to you, Sammy, on this one. I would probably say Steelers, because if I was a Jets fan, I would have had to live with 29 years so far of my life being a Jets fan, and that'd be a problem. Now, the Jets, I like how they're set up right now. I really like Aaron Glenn as a head coach. I think he brings the right mentality to it, and I think that the future is brighter than it has been for the Jets in a long time. But there's so much unknown, and you don't have a quarterback, by the way. The Steelers at least have the history with them, and they have Mike Tomlin, who's had decades now of being a really good head coach in the NFL. You feel pretty good about Mike Tomlin being your head coach for the next few years as well. They got to figure out the quarterback, too. I am going to stick with my original pick and say Steelers.
Yeah, it feels asinine to pick the Jets organization over the Steelers organization when Steelers are one of the most winningest organizations.
And it's the Jets. They're a punchline.
They're a punchline. Now, so I will go with the Steelers, but in terms of for the future, the Steelers have everything except the quarterback, and Rodgers is better than what they've had the last few years, so I expect improvements in that department, but they kind of have a similar issue. The Steelers are, what do they say? It's best to be either terrible in the NFL and get a top pick, or be competing in the Super Bowl or in the AFC, NFC Championship game every year. The Steelers every year are picking 21, 22, 23, and they aren't able to land that big-time quarterback that they so desperately need. It's going to take one of these years, them packaging a bunch of picks. They've loaded up on a lot of picks over the next 2 drafts. I believe they have like 17, 18 total picks, something crazy like that. So they could make a move to try to get up and get one of these guys, Sellers, Manning, Beck, whoever it is. But, with the team, Pittsburgh. But I do think Justin Fields has a real bounce back candidate this year. Fields, I never understood them going to Russell Wilson. I didn't get it last year. I know he went 4-0. Then he had the 2 losses with Pittsburgh, Justin Fields starting last year. But in the whole reasoning was that his the offensive production wasn't good. But then it wasn't good with Russell Wilson, and it got even worse when they actually played real competition. I think the Jets are actually both teams are going to be interesting to watch this year, and I'm excited for it.
Who next?
Let's head to the U.S. Open. So we got some fun stuff. Djokovic playing Alcaraz on one side of the bracket. Sinner is playing later today, but expected to advance. Sinner and Alcaraz are the two favorites in the tournament. Now, they met at Wimbledon. Sinner won Wimbledon. They met at Roland Garros, the French Open, and Alcaraz won that. What is a better storyline? Novak Djokovic winning his 25th Grand Slam, which is his 25th major, or a Sinner Alcaraz rematch for the third time this year?
Because of long shots, I've watched more tennis than I ever have in my entire life. And I've actually gotten excited about where this is leading. And I've gotten into the storylines of Sinner and Alcaraz and Djokovic and the San Diego kid Taylor Fritz. Like, I've started to get into tennis a little bit. To lead that up to the fact that I'm not going to be watching the finals kind of makes this an irrelevant question, unfortunately, because they're going to be playing Sunday at what time, Sammy?
11 a.m., which is crazy.
Why would you ever do that on opening weekend of the NFL? Now, sure, I could just give you some answer that it'd be nice to see new blood and have Yannick Sinner get a win here and start a new reign of dominance. But of course, I'm going with the vet. Of course, I'm going with the dynasty. Yeah, that's the better storyline for tennis. It's the superstar.
Novak getting his 25th would be crazy. Obviously, an all-time great, one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever. Sinner Alcaraz rematch would be fun though, because I don't see Novak, even if he was able to get through Alcaraz, playing Alcaraz and then being able to beat Sinner. He's dogs in both. I believe he's a plus 250 dog going to the Alcaraz. I think Alcaraz winning the whole thing when he's at his best. I don't see anyone beating him, but Alcaraz and Sinner, they've met a ton of times. Again, Sinner winning at Wimbledon, Alcaraz winning it at the French Open this year in both epic matches, especially the Alcaraz comeback. Being able to see that at the U.S. Open in America, again, it's atrocious that they would schedule this during the NFL. So I'll be watching a recap or maybe have it on the phone.
Give me one of those 10 or 12-hour tennis matches that happens every once in a while. Maybe we can watch the finale after Sunday Night Football.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with Carlos and Sinner. All right, third story. Let's head to the NBA. Charles Barkley says Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who won MVP, NBA in obviously the NBA Finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder, isn't a killer like Michael Jordan or Kobe, and thinks he's more of a nice guy like LeBron. Reaction to those comments.
Say the beginning one more time.
He said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't a, quote, killer like Michael Jordan or Kobe. He's more of a nice guy like LeBron. And essentially, that's why it's going to hurt him in his career.
Look, it's telling you a lot about what people think about LeBron James and how where they rank him all time. But look, SGA is a fun story. He really is. And I think Oklahoma City this past year was a very fun story. They built it the right way. That's what fans of sports want, is to watch teams build from the ground up and go from nothing to something. Small market team, whatever. It's a lot like what we're hoping the Padres do. Small market team getting to the very, very top. By the way, if you were hopeful that Nestor Cortez was going to be awesome today, sorry.
Not feeling great about long shots already.
Nope. Not looking great. But look, SGA's fun. It's cute. I like it. Oklahoma City, that's kind of where I put them in the fun, cute category. But give me some dominance in the NBA. Give me a Kobe type back.
It is funny how, like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jason Tatum are both very similar players. And that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a better player, you would say. You'd rather take him on your team. But they're both, like, nice guys. You talk, like, Jason Tatum's been criticized in Boston. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's not the superstar we've grown accustomed to seeing, the Michael Jordan who expected excellence. You watch The Last Dance from everyone around him. It was brutal on everyone. Kobe, 100% at the task at hand. Remember when he's up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, said, why don't you crack a smile? And he's like, because the job's not finished. It is interesting how we've seen players kind of change. We've seen the NBA, almost every sport except for the NFL, get more friendly with each other in terms of some of the rivalries and stuff that we've loved over the years have gone away, and it is a bummer for the game, probably because they're playing with each other in the Olympics and all this kind of stuff. But there is something to this. Like, the face of the NBA conversation is a real thing, and I think people, like, even though Anthony Edwards hasn't really been maybe had the accolades to prove he's the face of the NBA, him and Luka Doncic are much more in terms of they chirp, they have an attitude, they kind of have that mindset of like, hey, I'm the best guy out here. When you see Jason Tatum and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's kind of like they seem like nice guys, kind of laughing and stuff, like they win, and it feels like they don't get the credit maybe they deserve because of that. I think it's just how we view our stars in society. We've grown accustomed to guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant setting a standard that some of the guys today just don't really embody.
Trey jumping on YouTube, responding to the Jets Steelers question, saying it's the Jets. The Steelers are operating closer to the Cowboys these days. The Jets are operating closer to the Bears or the Broncos.
It's interesting.
Interesting point. I don't know if I'm putting the Steelers in the Cowboys category yet. I feel like once they get a quarterback, the roster for the Steelers is still incredible.
The Jets are, like, to Trey's point though, the Jets do have a super young roster.
For sure.
Why we were excited about Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago when he went there.
You look at the matchup this weekend, you put what's his name, cornerback for the Jets, Sauce Gardner on DK Metcalf, maybe shut down one side of the field. Like, what are the Steelers going to do?
The Steelers play in what Trey I think is also saying is the Steelers are weird in that they have built their team like you would in the 80s. It's focused on defense and a running game, and then you worry about the offense later. And it feels like in today's NFL, you have to have an electric offense followed by a good defense, everything like that. It feels like they build their team the wrong way. So I could see where someone's more excited to be a Jets fan moving forward.
And people get sick of mediocrity. People get sick of 10-win seasons that aren't leading anywhere in the postseason. All right, quick break here. Let's dive deeper into the NFL. Coming up next, look at some week 1 matchups and some of our favorite betting lines for week 1. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Our Radio Music Festival is back. Live performances from Ed Sheeran, Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. September 19th and 20th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets now at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out.
And we also got chances for you to win a pair of tickets plus $1,000 spending cash. Next chance to win coming up later in the station day. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. Not sure if everyone saw this yesterday, but Mark Ziegler had a report out in the San Diego Union Tribune, and then we'll get back to some NFL news. October 17th, so like a month and 14 days from right now, San Diego State basketball will be hosting an exhibition game against UCLA at Viejas Arena. That's not the weird part. They do that pretty much every year. They have a closed door scrimmage. The fun part is we can all go. Spectators will be allowed.
That's
this game
awesome.
Will not count against any net rankings or NCAA rankings, anything like that. It is going to be a scrimmage, but San Diego State, UCLA, October 17th at Viejas Arena. This is awesome.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. Like, you have UCLA is obviously a basketball powerhouse. I think San Diego State has certainly risen to that level in recent years of being a basketball powerhouse. And it's like, let's get these teams together. I mean, I know it's an exhibition, but yeah, like they always do the closed door scrimmage. Like
they did it last year up in LA. I think they do it most years. These two teams will come together, but now put it in front of fans. That's fun.
Right. No, people are definitely going to show up for that. And this Aztecs team is going to be exciting this year, I think, because last year we thought they were probably pretty too young. And then they probably overperformed expectations a little bit halfway through. We got probably excited. This year, a little bit of maturation should be a fun season for the guys.
I can't wait for it, man. I wonder if Viejas Arena could get sold out for an exhibition game.
The students are there. We'll see.
Students are there. I'll be there. Sammy will be there. Sure, Schaefer will be there. Schaefer's gonna get so nervous for an exhibition game.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like, "This means something. I gotta call Ken Palm."
Schaefer would always be like chattering on his fingernails during the games.
He gets nervous, man.
It's a real fan right there. That's Mr. SDSU right there.
Look, I saw that report from Ziegler yesterday. I just got so excited for college basketball. This is a pretty awesome week, man. We got NFL starting tomorrow night. Eagles, Cowboys, college basketball is on the horizon now. College football is popping off. San Diego State, Washington State this weekend. We have entered into the fun time of the sports calendar here as Major League Baseball postseason approaches. SDFC charging headlong into an MLS postseason. The Padres hopefully making a postseason run here. We'll see what happens against the Reds. And look, man,
the umps might be helping our Nestor Cortez bet right now.
We had a lot on the line here with Nestor Cortez. We said some big words, and it has not started well. First batter of the game was a home run, and he still is not out of the first inning. Take that for what you will. Let's talk some football, Sammy. Tomorrow night, Dallas, Philadelphia, right here on San Diego Sports 760 is where you'll hear it. Line is at 8.5 in favor of the defending Super Bowl champs. We talked to Jonas Knox about it. He kind of gave credence to my idea that Cowboys plus 8.5 is not a bad bet. And I'm kind of more into that lane now because you do see Super Bowl champs come off the distraction of the offseason, all the touring they do with the Super Bowl trophy, and then you get back for the banner ceremony, the ring ceremony. Maybe this isn't a just full-blown Philadelphia wins this one easy.
Well, we've seen the Chiefs lost when they had the banner ceremony to the Lions. We saw New England in 2017 lose to the Chiefs. That was the Kareem Hunt game. He had 246 yards and like 3 touchdowns. Like we've seen this in the past. There's something to that when you're hanging up the banner, you're I mean, it's hard when you win a Super Bowl. It's human nature to take your foot off the gas a little bit when you're at the peak.
And I'm sure Jason Kelsey's going to be shirtless running around with a microphone somewhere before the game tomorrow, getting everyone excited. And the Cowboys do have a good offense. Like, I think we forget about it a lot. Where did the Eagles get hurt the most this offseason, Sammy? Defensive side of the football.
Slay's gone. Milton Williams is gone. They lost a player on every level of their defense.
Like, you're running back with Cooper DeJean now being your cornerback 1. You're running back with what was the guy who ended up getting the pick 6? Not Cooper DeJean. Right. Who was the other interception? The diving one in the red zone.
He's a linebacker.
Zach Bond. Is he still on the Eagles?
He's still on the Eagles. Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better about the Eagles defense. I thought he was gone too.
But the thing is, you're talking about in the NFL, divisional matchup. These two teams, like the Cowboys aren't scared of the Eagles. They see them twice a year. And to that end, this team was completely hurt last year. It's easy. It's like, I made this point last week. If it's the Yankees, Lakers, or Cowboys, if you are not a fan of those teams, people probably don't like them. You know what I mean? Because they've won a lot I guess the Cowboys haven't won 20, 30 years. But in regards, people don't really like those teams if you aren't fans of those teams. It's easy to get on here and bash the Cowboys about how much of a joke they are. But they did deal with massive injuries. Dak Prescott, your star quarterback, goes down last year. Trayvon Diggs goes down. I'm really excited to see how George Pickens fits in because now you have a really lethal 1-2 duo. I think what we're going to see though is can the Dallas running game get going? Because they got Javonte Williams over there from the Broncos.
Miles Sanders is there, right?
Yeah, and they got Jaden Blue, the rookie running back. People are very excited about in the 6th round. Or Deuce Vaughn's there as well, but they don't really have much expectations for him. So I think 8.5. I think I would lean Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't hate that number at all. And then Friday night, we got another football game. You don't even have to wait all the way till Sunday. Friday night, it's Chiefs Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Second year in a row that the NFL has done that, putting a Friday game in week 1 in Sao Paulo. Look, fascinating matchup. AFC West is going to be hotly contested this year. I think it's the first year in a while. Multiple big name pundits aren't just picking the Chiefs to win this thing outright.
That happens every year.
Well, not to this extent, but a lot of hype around the Broncos, a lot of hype around the Chargers. They drafted running back Amari Hampton. It sounds like he's going to get the nod as the RB1 heading into the season. Najee Harris being the RB2, dealing with that eye injury in the offseason. But I can't wait for that game because Patrick Mahomes, how much crap has been talked this offseason on the Chiefs?
Yeah. So both teams are the Chargers Chiefs. It's always a tight game. It's always comes down to the end. Yeah, the Chiefs feel like, I mean, they have really been cast off in terms of everyone's picking Baltimore, Buffalo. Like you said, they're picking the Broncos are the sexy pick to win the division.
This is the first year where there's been a landslide of people not picking the Chiefs.
And the Chargers are interesting because I feel like the Chargers really could have taken a step in the right direction. The receiver situation, I think they completely mishandled. That's just
Keenan Allen back.
Is he Devontae Adams? I mean,
No.
Devontae Adams wanted to go to Los Angeles, and you had Devontae Adams, what am I blanking?
Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey, excuse me. I was going to say McCluskey. Lad McConkey. That's a massive 1-2 duo. Keenan Allen, I get it. It's a decent signing, but the guy's old and he wasn't that good in Chicago. He wasn't great as in the Chargers, but they are a hard-nosed football team. We're going to see how the left tackle situation really affects them because, I mean, going into the season, my people were high on the Chargers. Slater, and all that's one of the best tackle duos in the entire league. Now Slater's not there, but we'll see how the defense responds. Joey Bosa's not there. Still got Khalil Mack, Derwin James, but they're kind of getting up there in age. So should be a fun one Friday night.
All right, we'll see what the Padres do with their half of the first inning, but it has not started well for the San Diego Padres. Somehow Nestor Cortez got out of the first inning, only giving up 1 run. It looked like he was about to give up 6 or 7. But we're going to take a quick break here. We'll update you on the Padres game on the other side, plus get into those Sunday matchups this week in the NFL. Coming up next at San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Padres currently in the top of the second inning, trailing the Baltimore Orioles 1-0. Nestor Cortez is currently at 38 pitches. And tomorrow, the NFL is back. Cowboys, Eagles. We've been talking about it all show. Eagles currently favored by 8.5 after the Micah Parsons trade. Previously favored by 6.5. The point total is set at 47.5. Swapping out your tires is nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
For months, I've been telling you the exact date and time of week 1 of the NFL season and counting you down by the minute of when the NFL season will begin. Well, we are down to just hours away. To really just a little over 24 hours away from the beginning of this year's NFL season. By the way,
It's like Christmas Eve.
it really is. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm going to be worried about some big fat guy jumping on my roof and then just dreaming about Andy Reid. I don't know, eating carrots and drinking milk or something. 858 did text into the show saying, is the Friday night game on TV? Speaking of Andy Reid, Chiefs Chargers will not be on terrestrial broadcast, but it is completely free to the public to watch on YouTube. Any problem with that, Sammy Long, considering they're your Chiefs?
No, I obviously will be watching the game. We've already established if anyone wants to have plans Friday night, if anyone wants to do anything, I'm off limits. Family members have already started asking about, we could do dinner. No, we're not doing dinner. The Chiefs are playing the Chargers. I also have another problem with YouTube TV. I enjoy YouTube TV in their NFL Sunday Ticket coverage through the years, but for this game specifically, they have this thing that they're trying out where you watch the game with streamers.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You could just watch the normal broadcast.
But like, what does that do? Like, why?
There's somebody. I'll tell you exactly what it does. So the Speed, right? Is that his name? I am Speed.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Yeah.
Speed.
Yeah, it's Speed.
Crazy popular YouTuber. Streams all the time. I'll tell you what it does. It maybe gets some of his audience that love him, who don't usually watch the NFL, to watch the NFL. The NFL's this is exactly what they're doing with the Taylor Swift thing. You see Goodell's quotes today about Taylor Swift?
But I literally was trying to find the normal game getting ready for Friday, and I have to scroll through all these guys. I'm like, I'm not hearing whatever his name is, Speed scream on my television all night.
You don't have to. You can just watch the normal broadcast. Now, Roger Goodell today did say, look, if Taylor Swift wants the Super Bowl, she can have the Super Bowl. It's an open invitation for Taylor Swift to do the Super Bowl halftime show. My thinking, the only thing that could do is hurt Taylor Swift, because if it flops, it's going to be terrible. She's bigger than the NFL is right now.
Well, Taylor Swift, I think, like, the thing that people like will have crushed her and stuff, like, why are they showing her? It's like, she hasn't asked to be shown. Like, she literally, remember, told cameras to go away when she was in the box. Like, just like, I mean, there's a gazillion other celebrities that go to games. Obviously, it took on its whole life of its own because she's a mega pop star. But yeah, that'd be cool to see Tay-Tay perform at halftime.
No, you're not allowed to call her that. I don't think so. 858, if you don't have YouTube, can you listen to the game on 760? Unfortunately, not. That game is not part of our package we have with the NFL. You can hear tomorrow night's game right here on 760. Cowboys, Eagles, opening up the season. Plus every Raiders game this season, most Rams games this season, and most Cowboys games this season. So right here, we are your home for the NFL in San Diego on San Diego Sports 760, as well as Aztecs football, SDFC soccer, Aztecs basketball. Hear it all here. All right, let's get to some of our favorite props for week 1. And we're going to make this easier. We're not going to go by the Vegas lines. What we are going to do is just give you our favorites, biggest locks for week 1. Not in terms of team wins, in terms of player performances. Sammy, if you want me to start, I can. But the biggest lock to score a touchdown in week 1 is...
Who?
I was going to you first.
Oh, I thought you were going first. You go first.
Okay, I will go first. For me, it is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs is going to score a touchdown in week 1. I think Dan Campbell taking over as everything out in Detroit is going to mean Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be getting the ball a ton, because Dan Campbell loves him some Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that he has some speed, some athleticism, some shiftiness that nobody else in the NFL has right now. Jahmyr Gibbs will hit pay dirt in week 1.
I like it. Okay. I'm going to go with the receiver, actually. I'm going to go with a little bit. I think Drake London for the Atlanta Falcons. This is a sneaky, really good game.
Wow.
Tampa Bay playing Atlanta. If you want some value there, receivers go for a little bit more than a running back. Drake London, I think, has a big performance. I think Michael Penix comes out throwing the ball all over the yard. And I think Drake London has a big game against that Tampa Bay secondary.
Neither of us went with Saquon Barkley, who's playing tomorrow night against the Cowboys.
That's like the cheap one. Like, you don't want to go with like obviously Saquon is going to get a touchdown.
Biggest lock for 100-yard receiving game in week 1, Sammy Long.
I'm going to go with an old friend of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, boy.
Tyreek Hill. There's been a lot made about Tyreek Hill. There's been a lot done. There's the whole Miami kind of the back and forth between Tua Tagovailoa and saying Tyreek needs to earn his trust back. He's not named a team captain earlier this week. Every other team's star player is usually a team captain. Tyreek, though, his numbers were down last year, but a lot of that had to do with Tua Tagovailoa being hurt. That whole offense was in disarray. Not the quarterback play you're looking for. I think Tyreek has a big performance against the Indianapolis secondary that is pretty suspect. I think people are a little too down on Tyreek Hill. If you have a fantasy draft tonight, him going in that 4th round, I think there's too much value there to not be grabbing Tyreek Hill. I think he has 100+ yards in week 1 against Indianapolis.
I did 2 separate fantasy football drafts last night, and both times I was shocked at how late Tyreek Hill was going. And both times he got snagged right before I was about to take him. My biggest lock for a week 1 100-yard receiver is Puka Nacua for the Los Angeles Rams, because I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to pick him for this, because I don't know how long Matthew Stafford's going to be able to stay alive this football season. But I think week 1, he's probably going to get peppered with targets. Devontae Adams is there now, and that's the sexy pick, right? But I think Matthew Stafford is going to go back to his homeboy, Puka Nacua, for week 1. And finally, the biggest lock for a 100-yard rushing game in week 1. Sammy Long, your pick, please.
Derrick Henry, Sunday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. I think him and Lamar put on an absolute show. This is the rematch from last year in the AFC Divisional. We all know what happened. Mark Andrews drops the 2-point conversion, fumbles late in the 4th quarter. The Ravens really put on a pretty good performance besides those 2 plays. Derrick Henry in the earlier game last year against the Buffalo Bills had that 75-yard rushing touchdown on the first play of the game that was in Baltimore. But I think this game, I'm high on Baltimore to get a win. They're plus money in Buffalo. Should be a great game just like last time. But I think we're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry early with Tre'Davious White back in that secondary for Buffalo. I think Derrick Henry, they slow this game down, and him and Lamar put on a big-time show.
Now, interesting you would pick Derrick Henry, and I hate to say it, but I think that is just your Bills hate flowing through you once more. Derrick Henry didn't get over 100 yards many times last year.
Are you telling me that you don't think Derrick Henry can get 100 yards?
I don't think King Henry can get.
Kind of suspect.
I don't think he can. No, I don't like that pick at all. But I do love Ashton JT, the Raider, the brand new rookie, to go for over 100 yards against the New England Patriots.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that you picked him in a fantasy draft last night?
Essentially, I did pick Ashton JT, one of my more risky picks, but I just think Ashton JT's usage is going to be through the roof this year. It's not just that Pete Carroll loves to use running backs the way he does, but we're forgetting who the offensive coordinator is now in Las Vegas. Chip Kelly also loves to use running backs, and I think that they are going to use Ashton JT and abuse Ashton JT this year, and he is going to get over 100 yards, probably on like 28 carries.
I think JT is going to be fantastic, but I'm curious to see how Chip Kelly wanted him to change his stance. He's not doing the stand-up anymore.
That's only going to help him out.
Made him famous.
Chip has a lot of experience.
So let me get this right. You're destroying Derrick Henry, one of the all-time great rushers in the NFL, saying there's no shot he gets 100 yards?
He old.
Okay.
He old. Lamar Jackson's going to eat into like 60 of those yards.
We're Monday morning. We'll check back in.
We'll play some Monday morning quarterback. Never had a problem with that. All right, we're going to take a quick break, update you on the Padres score on the other side, wrap this thing up, get you ready for John and Jim. We still got a long way to go here. Also, Lil Wayne tickets coming up before the end of the show. Stay tuned here on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Give Gary Cooper a call today, 858-376-1299, because Gary, you got an immaculate property that is ready to be taken.
I do. This property, and there's no exaggeration, you know I will never mislead, but yes, this is an immaculate, beautiful 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, located at 2015 Summit Drive in Escondido, which is a great neighborhood. This property is tucked away at the end of a private driveway. It's beautifully renovated, and I'm not talking about a flip renovation. I'm talking about top quality renovated 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. It has privacy, convenience, all throughout, designer upgrades. Step inside to a bright open floor plan where the kitchen, dining, and living area connect seamlessly, creating a welcome space for entertaining or just hanging out with the family. The chef's kitchen features a wide layout and brand new appliances, Samsung, family hub refrigerator, stylish and functional, all that good stuff. Large windows. It's very private. And the other thing too is it has room for an RV if you need to have space to park your RV. It's being listed right now at $1,159,000, and this is something that I'm real sincere when I say you're getting all of that value into this home for that price. So Serena, who I used to work with and is also a close friend of mine, this is a listing of hers, and I'm helping her out. So if anybody is interested in seeing this property, give me a call and I'll provide you with a free private showing.
Stylish and functional. That's what I call Gary Cooper, 858-376-1299. That house could be yours today. Reminder, tomorrow night, San Diego Sports 760. We will be airing the Cowboys Eagles season opener tomorrow night. There is no freaking way this is happening in the San Diego Padres game.
Remember when I said that Nestor Cortez had to be a crucial part of the rotation for them to have success?
How about remember when we said if any depth happens today from Nestor Cortez, you take it as a win? Well, the Padres are in the third inning right now. I believe he just gave up his fourth home run in 3 innings.
Third home run in 3 pitches?
That sounds about right. This is insane. Padre fans who showed up to Petco Park today, I'm assuming went to see a baseball game. Instead, they just came for extended batting practice for the Baltimore Orioles, who cranking the baseball out of the ballpark.
If you're there, might as well get a beer and Philly cheesesteak and everything Petco has to offer, because what do you even say about this team right? Like what happened?
I think I just saw 3 straight pitches, 91 miles per hour at the belt, all 3 of them home runs.
Okay, so long shots, unfortunately, is the first time ever has been cooked before we got off the show.
This is incredible.
Which is very frustrating. Nestor Cortez, I think we're very disappointed.
I don't even think about what this means for the Padres. Like, they are down bad right now. I can't remember a worse stretch this season.
What pitcher do you trust besides Nick Pivetta?
0.
Like Michael.
It's not like Nick Pivetta has been lighting the world on fire either recently.
Michael King, the Padres' only hope is Michael King comes back. Oh, by the way, with 23 games left in the season, and decides to be is a Cy Young worthy player, because the bullpen depth took a hit with the Jason Adam injury, and these guys, they were holding on decently through the first half of the season. They weren't good, but they were like Dylan Cease falling off a cliff. Nestor Cortez is becoming unpitchable.
He just fell off the cliff.
And there is some serious changes that need to be made with this organization right now, because the Dodgers have been absolutely free falling. In the Padres' response to that is to, as of right now, get swept by the Baltimore Orioles. We'll see what happens the rest of the way, but
you have faith that the Padres offense can put up 7 runs?
I don't at all. Actually,
5 innings. I don't either. 858 text into the show, and I'm glad we got some closure on this. This was a storyline here about a month ago, if you remember.
No, it was in Vegas.
It was in Vegas. You're right. But the 858 texting in saying, not that anyone cares, but I went with Sammy's advice for my anniversary, meaning I called in sick today because I got hungover from the Padre game from last night. But that's going to turn into being full-blown sick on Thursday, Friday, so I can watch football, then get better by Saturday magically, so we can go to Mool Casino to celebrate the rest of the week.
Is this Marcos? Is it fantastic? And I mean, another excuse possible, if somehow your girl's listening to this, we met you at a remote, because I've been sick all week.
Sure.
And unfortunately, we shook hands and I got you sick. And unfortunately, you have to, babe, I'm sorry, I have to watch NFL all weekend. I have to sit in bed. It wouldn't be couth for me. It'd be uncouth for me to be out in public all weekend with this head cold.
You need to pause, because as much love as you're giving the 858 right now, you should take it the other way, because the same number text in, it says, as soon as Sammy picked Cortez for the over on strikeouts, I immediately locked in his hits allowed.
858. Okay, listen. Well, I guess I'm happy for you. I guess 858 is profiting today.
All right, we're going to be out of here pretty soon. 2 more texts that just came in. Different 858 number. The bottom line is fans need to stop going to Petco Park. As long as they keep selling out, why would the owners make any changes? And yet another 858. It's not all on the pitching. The offense is unwatchable.
Well, and we have 50 seconds left, but AJ Preller went all in.
Yeah, he did.
And he went all in without a contract for past next season. To get where a lot of people criticize, you give up a top tier prospect that would, in all regards, could be a really franchise player moving forward.
After 2 years before giving up James Wood and CJ Abrams,
for an all-star closer, Mason Miller has been the man. So I'm not going to sit here and knock Mason Miller. He's been fantastic, but we're talking about a team that traded away a future for this season and next. In this season right now, it's not over. It's going to take a lot for them to not make the playoffs. But what we're seeing right now, this cannot be swept under the rug as, they're in a bad stretch. This is horrendous from this team right now, and it's frankly embarrassing. And we'll see if they can get it fixed by the time we get on there.
Strong words from Sammy Long. Pretty sure he just called for the GM to be fired by the end of this show.
Well, you're right with him now. I'm not saying it's AJ Preller's fault now. I'm saying if they don't go win something this year, you gave everything away. There's nothing coming.
For sure. John and Jim will react to what's going down at Petco Park right now. Coming up next, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app And make sure you are listening tomorrow, 12:45, the biggest long shots we've ever done. And Lil Wayne tickets right now. He's going to be performing at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater coming up in just a few days here. If you want to go to that show, call right now, 877-767-4760. We'll see y'all tomorrow.